JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, 2 killed in Angels, St. Catherine crash. 2 people were killed in a crash along the Dam Head Main Road in Angels, St. Catherine this morning. The incident happened about 6:40. It is reported that a motorcyclist and a pillion were traveling along the roadway when it crashed into a Toyota Hiace, which was traveling in the opposite direction. The impact caused the pillion to be flung from the bike, who landed in the windscreen of a car. The motorcyclist and the pillion died from their injuries. The police were called to the scene. Anything forget about me, baby? The family of missing 2-year-old Jamil Mendez says a prophetic revelation from a pastor has rekindled hope and optimism for the safe return of the infant, who went missing from his Rasta Corner home in Freetown, Clarendon, on Thursday. Yesterday, family members and well-wishers went on their knees during an intense day of prayer and petitioned the throne of God to help them find young Jamil and bring him home safely. The child's grandfather, Emmanuel Stain, said that he's confident that baby Jamil will be home soon, citing a revelation from the church leader. We feel confident. Today the first me eat since Thursday. Today my daughter went to a church and the pastor revealed and said the baby get takeaway in a white Axio and he's okay. Him said the baby there's somewhere in a hill and him alright cause them a feed him, Stain said. Stain said that the incident has the family on tenterhooks, and while they're optimistic that baby Jamil will be found alive and well, the family has been in a state of unease. Everybody agree and I feel it, but we have to keep strong for the thing go through well. We just leave everything to the Almighty God. Stain said that he finds it odd that a baby could go missing from the community without somebody noticing something. Meanwhile, the child's mother, Carol Williams, said her son went to the neighbor's home, where he usually plays with other toddlers, on Thursday afternoon. She said when she called for him and was told he was not there, at the time she believed that she was being pranked. True, normally them would a ramp with me, cause 2 times I look for him and him auntie them hide him. But JJ always a laugh, and him said, JJ, you can't hide. Somebody think them a ramp with me, Williams said. Desperate searches across several communities across their home parish of Clarendon as well as St. Catherine have thus far proven futile. Williams said, acting on information, search teams combed through sections of Old Harbour and St. Catherine last Saturday, but while there, she was told that her baby was in Clarendon. One lady said, "No, some if you come look, and me inside the baby there, down a Rosewell. So I dare exactly the police can search, but them never find him," said Williams. The mother said that she was informed that her son was seen in the front of a Probox motor vehicle the day he went missing. She said her baby is a lover of cars and theorized that his alleged abductor may have used his love for cars to lure him. JJ is not a friendly person, but him love car. So most likely him see the car and think I'm father car, so that joy more to the person will take him away, Williams reasoned. She's making a desperate plea for the safe return of her son. Left my roadside or even one supermarket make somebody see him. Even left my the station. We not have to see them face. I just me baby me need back. If me have to do anything to get my baby, me will do anything, she said. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Jamil Mendez is being asked to contact the Longville Park Police at 876-902-5047, 119 or the nearest police station. Intra-gang conflict behind St. Elizabeth double murder, say police. The St. Elizabeth police have vowed to maintain a strong presence in the Spring Park community following a series of incidents, with the latest on Friday night resulting in a double murder and injury of 3 people. Head of the St. Elizabeth Police, Superintendent Dwight Daly, said the incident stemmed from intra-gang conflict in the community. The intelligence suggests that it is an act of reprisal, he said. Marlon Gager, 38, shop operator and resident of Spring Park, and Samantha Johnson, 34, a bartender and resident of Spanish Town, St. Catherine, were shot dead. 3 people were also shot and injured at a bar in Spring Park. A police report said about 9:40 p.m., Gage and Johnson were among a group of people at the bar when they were pounced upon by a gunman traveling on foot who opened fire, hitting them. The police were alerted and they were taken to hospital, where Gage was pronounced dead and Johnson died while receiving treatment. The other 3 people were admitted for treatment. Superintendent Daly said the gang has been linked to major crimes including the April 13 double murder, rape and robbery incident in Malvern, St. Elizabeth. We know it's a well-structured gang. They go around and break into business places, but their main targets are poker boxes, he said on Sunday. He said the gang has split into a deadly war. It's an intra-gang conflict. The group is responsible for multiple cases of major crimes across St. Elizabeth and in other parishes, but now there's a breakaway, he said. He added that the police have maintained patrols in Spring Park. The community is large. When the shooting occurred, we were in the community, but at another location. What I intend to do now is to put additional resources in the community to cover a wider area and prevent murders, he said. We have the Community Safety and Security Branch, which will also have a sustained presence in the community to reassure the people and offer counselling, he added. On Saturday, Superintendent Daly and a Member of Parliament for St. Elizabeth Southwestern, Floyd Green, did a walkthrough of the community. We were there to reassure and counsel the victims, to let them know that we're not going to leave them at the mercy of these criminals, Daly said. Finance Minister calls for patients to complete salary review. Minister of Finance, Dr. Nigel Clark, is appealing to public sector employees to have patience and calm regarding the compensation review, noting that the consultative process is underway.
Jamaicans, good evening. Many of us would have observed the incidences of industrial action in the public sector last week with concern. Jamaica has shown great resilience in the face of monumental and historic economic adversity brought on by the global COVID-19 pandemic, and today we are experiencing a recovery of jobs and economic output way ahead of other countries in our region and in a manner that defies our historical experience. Companies are expanding, new hotels are being built, and residential and commercial and warehousing construction continues to increase. For the first time in living memory, many businesses are actually reporting a shortage in available labor. Jamaica is undoubtedly moving forward, though we still have a long way to go. However, this much needed economic recovery can easily be interrupted and reversed if services are disrupted due to industrial action. Such a reversal would set Jamaica back tremendously, costing jobs. This would negatively impact us all, from the decline in government revenues that would follow and the cuts in budgetary expenditure that would then become necessary. Jamaica cannot afford this. On behalf of all Jamaicans, therefore, I appeal to all public sector employees for patience and for calm. We understand your apprehension. We understand your fear. We know that you have been waiting a long time for the compensation restructuring reform, and many are now anxious about what it might mean for you. We know you have been hearing things, sharing figures, viewing calculations, and there may be some misunderstandings about how this will all work. It is certainly possible that in some instances you are receiving partial and incomplete information out of context. I humbly ask that you avoid conclusions at this point. There is a consultative process underway. Things will be much clearer once these consultations with your union or bargaining group are completed. For a complex and ambitious reform such as this restructuring of public sector compensation across all of government for 110,000 public sector employees organized into 47 central government bargaining units and 140 public bodies, there has to be an established process as we drive towards implementation. The process is that for those who work in central government, civil servants, police, teachers, nurses, doctors, dentists, other healthcare workers, correctional officers, firefighters, etc., we have been engaged in consultations with your union and bargaining group representatives. The Ministry of Finance and the Public Service has already met with 45 out of the 47 central government bargaining groups and unions. You will have the opportunity to provide feedback which will be considered in the second round of consultations, which will shortly begin. There is therefore an established mechanism through which concerns, misconceptions, and/or misunderstandings can be addressed. Please take us at our word that no public sector employee will be worse off. Some persons have responded to this assurance with calculations, valid or invalid, that supposedly demonstrate a decline in net pay as a supposed refutation of this assurance. This is misplaced. The assurance is not a statement that contends that everyone is better off with the proposals on the table. We are aware that in any set of proposals designed to cover 110,000 public sector employees, there could be cases where the proposed changes lead to less net pay. What the assurance instead means, however, is that wherever through reasoned, objective, and data-driven feedback it can be proven that someone would indeed be worse off, we will work to find a fix. For public sector employees employed to public bodies, I know that you have heard where your colleagues in central government are in receipt of information about the compensation restructuring, and your management and your representatives have not yet been able to tell you when your consultations will begin. This has been met with displeasure. I completely understand that. For those public bodies such as the National Water Commission, the National Irrigation Commission, the Broadcasting Commission, Civil Aviation Authority, PICA, Petrojam, among others, where the agitation for reclassification exercises predates the commencement of this all-of-government compensation restructuring reform, it is particularly irksome for you that from your perspective, now that compensation restructuring is here, you now seem to be at the back of the queue. The irony for you is too much to absorb. I understand that too. Given the huge scope of this exercise, however, and its complexity, for better or worse, we decided to conclude with central government first and then engage with public bodies. Given current timelines, we anticipate that engagement with public bodies will occur within the next 6 months, similar to the timeline provided to the NWC. Though this timeline may seem far away, I ask you to consider that such a comprehensive reform with respect to public sector compensation has no precedent in Jamaica. It has never happened before. We have been ambitious in looking after your interests. We therefore ask for patience. We need the same patience which allowed the hard-working teams to complete 4 years of work setting up the policy framework for this reform, engage in the public sector about its key elements, procuring and engaging the services of multinational consultants, collecting and analyzing data on 110,000 jobs, designing and completing surveys, modeling, forecasting, and communicating.
Jamaica reports 295 new COVID cases, 7 deaths. Jamaica reported 295 new cases of COVID-19 and the 7 fatalities on Sunday, according to the latest statistics from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. This pushed the total number of cases of the virus since the start of the pandemic to 132,909 and the death toll to 3,011. Of the newly reported cases, there were 180 females and 115 males with ages ranging from 4 days to 97 years. The cases were recorded in St. Catherine, 58, Kingston and St. Andrew, 52, St. James, 42, St. Anne, 33, Manchester, 29, St. Elizabeth, 21, Westmoreland, 20, Clarendon, 17, Hanover, 6, Portland, 5, St. Mary, 5, Trelawney, 5, and St. Thomas, 2. Meanwhile, the latest deaths are comprised of a 68-year-old man from St. Catherine whose death was recorded in February 2021. An 82-year-old woman from Kingston and St. Andrew, whose death was recorded in March 2021. A 91-year-old woman from St. Catherine, whose death was recorded in March 2021. A 53-year-old man from St. Catherine, whose death was recorded in March 2021. A 63-year-old woman from St. Catherine, whose death was recorded in August 2021. An 88-year-old man from St. Catherine, whose death was recorded in September 2021 as under investigation. And a 56-year-old woman from St. Catherine, whose death was recorded in October 2021. The country also recorded 137 new recoveries, bringing the total number of recoveries to 85,265. The positivity rate for the latest round of testing was 25%. There are 67 people hospitalized, one of them critically ill. There are 2,209 confirmed active cases on the island. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.